explore with me in the kitchen. Today I'm very pleased to tell you that it is World Bread Day, and as such, I know a lot of people love making bread. I thought, okay, let's share one of the recipes that is a really nice one, even though I have made many recipes of bread over the last few months, particularly now that we are spending more time at home, and there is nothing like the smell of fresh bread when you bake it at home. From the pão de agua, that a lot of you probably have seen, that recipe has become really popular, to the buttermilk bread, also making maybe some keto with no grains bread, or maybe the German pretzels or pita bread. I have tried many different ones, but today, to mark World Bread Day, I wanted to share with you the sourdough bread, because actually some of the ladies in my community, Alison, Dorothy and Michelle, started that with a group of us. So for the whole week we have been starting this way of making bread, which is slightly different because we are not using normal yeast. We are using what is called like the wild yeast. So what we did was, from Sunday we got I used an airtight container like this one, and what I did was I started adding every day. The first day 70 grams of water and plain flour, or if you want to use maybe a rye flour as well, you could use. And the first day mix it with your fingers, leave the lid open, and for 12 hours let it rest somewhere really warm, okay? Because that's one of the good things I have come to learn from all the community, how everybody was doing it differently and everybody was finding different challenges, but we were able to support each other and give tips and ideas. So leaving it in a really warm and comfortable warm, okay, around 23 to 26 degrees, which maybe for some of you, if you're watching me from Australia, will be very easy. Here in Ireland, no. So maybe next to the aga, or if you have the oven on, or maybe wrap it with a tea towel, okay, overnight, and have it maybe on top of maybe, I don't know, a chopping board instead of in the cold of the countertop. So we have been doing that for 5 days, feeding it every 12 hours. 70 grams of water, 70 grams of flour, mix it, and what we have noticed is it started creating bubbles, it started fermenting, because it's with the normal, you know, the bacteria from the being in the air. After that, what we're going to do today is how to make the actual dough. So I'm going to start by adding, it's going to be a manual recipe that I got from Joy O'Driscoll, and I did it a few years ago, and since then I've been sticking to this recipe. What we're going to start is putting the water. So I'm going to set the scales, and I need 125 grams of water. So let me add the water. It can be room temperature, it doesn't have to be warm or cold. What we're going to do is we're going to be heating the water. Okay, so let me go to 125. Being very precise today. There we go. So what we're going to do with the water is we're just going to heat it up for the next 2 minutes. So let me close it. I come out of my Thermomix. I go into the home screen. I set it for 2 minutes. In this case, what we're going to do is the temperature is going to be 37 degrees, which is the minimum temperature. Okay, so 37 is the first one, and then in total speed is going to be a speed 2, so I moved the bigger dial just to speed 2. Okay, so this is going to be a manual recipe, but if you want it in cooking, there is many recipes. Even when your Thermomix is cooking, you can go on to search, okay? And here, the sourdough. What is sourdough? Sourdough is the type of bread where it doesn't have chemical yeast. It's just natural yeast, okay? It's better for the digestion because the acids break the gluten. So for people, you know, that get bloated, or maybe they have any gluten intolerance, then sourdough can be a good alternative. So when you search, you click on sourdough. Okay, and what I have here is I have the filters, but I can change the filters. So instead of having only the ones in the UK, like in my case, because I'm in the UK and Ireland platform, I just go all the countries. Okay, so I am tick United Kingdom, and it's gonna show me every single country. Okay, there's plenty of recipes, a lot of them now I can see. And one of the things I can do as well is, instead of recipes up here, I can go and click in collections, and it's gonna show me the 3 collections. There is sourdough at home, sourdough baking with the discard, because that one is actually a really good idea with what is left over. You can do from scones to biscuits, so maybe even pizza dough if you want to make pizza base tonight. With the sourdough will be with the starter, the sourdough starter, it will be a really good way to do. Or then the artisan breads, which actually I love the way in that one they even show you how to make the different shapes, the colors, how to use it, and there's plenty of recipe to select from. For me, I'm going to be using the manual one today to show you as well how with Thermomix you can adapt your own recipes and you don't always have to be dependent on the recipes that are in Cookie Dough, which is fantastic for some of you. I know you love trying new things and you want experimenting. You can do that as well. Okay, so let me go back to my recipe. There is only 3 seconds left and we are going to go, this recipe, I love the sourdough bread. But it's like a baby, okay? You need to feed it, the starter, you need to look after it for a couple of days, and it's very laborious, okay? It takes a bit of time because we are only going to be doing one step. I'm going to be able to show you here. What we're going to do now is we're going to add 400 grams of flour. So I have the scales on. Let me add 400. And again, being very precise today. With other recipes you have seen that I don't always stick to the quantities fully, but when it's baking or bread making, I go really, really precise. Even that, there is 2, I'm gonna be a bit, and I'm gonna remove the little bit. And a bit more. So we have 400 grams, and also I need to add 450 of the starter. So I go there again, 0. One thing I've noticed is when you're working with the starter, instead of using your normal spoons, you know, with iron or with, I prefer to use the wooden spoon. So in this case, I need 450 grams of the starter. So let me pour it, as you can see. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, yesterday the smell was very bitter. Today is more like sweet and sour. It has changed the smell. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do in this case, I'm gonna be for 10 seconds, I'm gonna be mixing everything. So let me go to 10 seconds. Not putting any temperature, and I'm gonna go to speed 4. Touch the screen and it stops and opens. Okay, so what we have done, let me show you. So that's just mixing the starter, the water and the flour. And actually, because we had the temperature at 37 degrees, I can feel it is a little bit warm. What we're going to do now is we're going to leave it inside in the bowl. I actually going to wrap it with kitchen towel around to keep it warm, okay? And I'm gonna leave it for the next 20 minutes. What I'll do then afterwards, I'm gonna add 5 grams of salt and I'm gonna knead it for 6 minutes. After that, I'll move it from the bowl maybe to a big container because it will raise quite a bit. And then you leave it for 14 hours. You can put it into the fridge or you can leave it outside, whatever you prefer. And after the 14 hours, what we do is we knead it again for 2 more minutes and then it's ready to be cooked. So in that case, what you can do now is leave it here, knead it for wait for 20 minutes, knead it for 6 minutes. Actually, no, knead it for 6 minutes, you leave it in, you knead it again for 2 more minutes, and then you put it into the fridge for 14 hours. After the 14 hours, put it in a custard pot. So I love Betty, which is one of the new range that Thermomix has. I put it into a custard pot, into a hot oven at 230 degrees, and you cook it for around 35 minutes. After the 35 minutes, it will be ready. What I tend to do is, after minute 20-25, I remove the lid, so then the steam and it comes out, and it allows the bread to have a good crust. And then your bread is ready. So for now, I'm gonna have to wait now 20 minutes, add the salt, knead it for 6, wait, knead it for 2, and then 14 hours in the fridge before I can put it into my caster pot, into the oven, 230 for 35 minutes. So more than likely it'll be tonight or early tomorrow morning before I can show you the final result. But I wanted to share with you this fantastic recipe for sourdough bread and a great way to celebrate today, World Bread Day. So have a fantastic day and let me know which recipes you're making, what bread you like to make at home, and share it with me because I always get inspiration as well from you guys. Have a fantastic day and I'll talk to you soon. Happy cooking! Now the 20 minutes has passed, so you can see our dough is starting to grow. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add the salt. So go to the scales and I'm gonna put a total of 5 grams of salt. Let me put it there. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to knead it for 6 minutes. So I close my thermometer, get out of the scales, close that. And now here I have the dough. So I'm going to do it for 6 minutes. So let me set the time first. 6 minutes. And now what I have to do is press on the dial for kneading and move it. It's going to knead, move it. Stops, let the air come in and knead still. So this is going to be for 6 minutes, then we're going to wait 2 hours and we're going to knead for 2 more minutes. And after that, we leave it for 14 minutes, 14 hours and then into the oven.